Hey there, millionaire. In today's video, we're challenging the notion that money can buy you happiness. We think and know that it can. And this isn't just coming from us. The research proves that there are times where money can provide the key to that happiness lock despite what people say. So let's get straight into it and have a look at different scenarios where having a bit of wealth can help with providing a boost to your health in the form of happiness. And we'll tell you how much money is necessary, according to science, to increase your happiness. Let's go. Having money might not mean you can pick happiness off the shelf in a store, but what you can buy is time, which can lead to more happiness. Harvard professor Ashley Williams has proved that if you use your money wisely and spend it on ways that can get more time back in your day, it can make you happier than if you spent that money purely on material items. The way to best use this method is to identify tasks that are time-consuming for you and pay someone else to do it. This might be mowing the lawn or ironing your shirts, maybe even cleaning the entire house. Money gives you the option to outsource these tasks and get some precious hours back. These hours can be used to spend time with friends and family or doing something you really love. If you're self-employed, then time is particularly precious because if you're literally charging per hour, then every minute you waste could cost you a significant amount of money. Paying for that time back may actually make you more money in the long run. A really good example of this theory in use is to save money on splashing out on expensive jewelry for a significant other's birthday and instead use the money on a babysitter to free yourself up for a meal or experience than you would on the item. That's not to say that buying things doesn't give pleasure or happiness to people. Happiness researcher Elizabeth Dunn proved that little and often gifts can be the key to an increased dopamine hit. This is as opposed to buying yourself a big gift or experience. The treats could be tiny, like a cookie at a local bakery or a bottle of beer. The key is that they come frequently, as Dunn proved that the same treat was enjoyed more if it was spread out. For example, an hour massage was enjoyed by her subjects more if it was spread out over 2 separate massages rather than in one go. If money can buy you happiness, then what kind of figures are we looking at? In 2010, a study was published to say the number was 75,000. This was a study conducted by Nobel Peace Prize winning economists. They claimed to have discovered a threshold that meant there was a happiness cap at this figure, and it was meant that even if you earn more, there was no guarantee of more happiness. This appeared to be a Goldilocks figure where you earned enough for the financial security, but not too much to add complexity around social circles and to lose a sense of purpose in life. However, a more recent study challenges this hypothesis and is courtesy of Matt Killingsworth, a senior fellow at Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania. He found, using his own words, that larger incomes were robustly associated with bigger, greater experienced well-being and greater evaluative well-being, meaning that the higher the income, the more happier people were. He saw the 75,000 plateau as a myth and proved it using subjects that would input their happiness data using an app that was triggered at random intervals during the day. That's not to say that money is everything. He also found that people who put their own financial success down to their bank balance were often far less happy. This shows that money is a means to an end and adds a sense of control to people's lives, and those that treat it this way are far more likely to be happy. So what else can wealthy people do with their money to increase their happiness? Give it away seems to be the answer. Researchers from Harvard gave their subjects a choice whether to spend money on themselves or give it away. More people said that they'd rather spend it on a treat for themselves, but those that did give money away were happier after they'd done so. There are countless studies that show that giving to others boosts your own well-being. So it makes sense then that donating money to others would give you that same kind of warm feeling inside. It reinforces the idea of being grateful for what we have when we give it to others, and it's this gratitude that increases our happiness. The opposite of this is always striving for more and never being satisfied with what you have. Being in a financial position where you can afford to be generous is a powerful thing, and the studies prove it. William McGaskill, an associate philosophy professor at the University of Oxford, also buys into this way of thinking. He's responsible for the effective altruism movement, where anything he earns above $34,000 gets donated to others. He also tries to use all of his free time helping others. He puts these actions down to lifting out of a depression that was causing his productivity to flatline. He credits helping a purpose beyond himself as the reason why this lifted his depression better than any other treatments, because he was compelled to stick with it. Another thing that money can buy that leads to happiness is experiences. Without money, you're limited to what you can do. Vacations are a luxury that for many are out of reach, but these experiences can leave lasting memories. They can also lead to meeting people that would have otherwise been out of reach, or maybe old friends that you haven't seen in a while, all of which lead to happiness and would otherwise be locked away with a lack of funds. Simply put, wealth gives you more freedom to go off and do whatever you want to do. Who wants to tell their friends they can't do the cool new thing in town because they can't afford it? This one is difficult to follow through with because it seems counterintuitive to spend money on something impermanent than a physical thing that will exist for a long period of time. In a battle between spending money on a TV or spending the same amount of money on a weekend away, then it could be easier to go for the TV because you'll get so much more use out of it. But studies have shown experience increases our happiness even more. Tom Gilovich, a psychology professor at Cornell University, agrees and says, even though in a material sense, they come and go, they live on in the stories we tell, the relationships we cement, and ultimately in the sense of who we are. In other words, experiences live on within our spirit, whereas material possessions are more likely to fade, albeit not literally. It's also been proven that we're much more likely to cast a positive light on a bad experience than we are on a bad material item. We're prone to romanticize something bad that might have happened to us in the past than the disappointing purchase that haunts us for years afterwards. So there are plenty of examples here on how money can help you buy happiness. When people say money can't buy you happiness, they're talking about the ability to own happiness like a commodity. But it's not commodities that lead to happiness. In fact, it's more abstract things that money can buy that leads to good feelings. It's the freedom that allows you to buy back time and use it to do things you love with the people you love. It's the ability to be able to give away funds and have the means to help other people without worrying about how it's impacting you. It's the ability to use money to pay for experiences that will last you forever and plant memories that will grow for a lifetime. And not to forget the strategic ways to spend money that may not break the bank, but will provide frequent little treats in a life that will give us more enjoyment in the long run, rather than splurging on something that's gone in an instant. Money can buy you happiness, but you need to be smart when spending it. Do this, and you can be on a more blissful road than you have ever thought possible.